I'm Robert Bell. We're here at CommunicAsia 2013 speaking with thought leaders about key trends in the Asia-Pacific region. Here's what one of them had to say about the developments shaping our industry today and in the future.
Yeah, we have a very broad customer base. We operate primarily in the data market based on our experiences with the E172A satellite. And our broad-based customer makeup is maritime, government, and resources, so oil, mining, and that sort of thing. That customer base is continuing to grow very favorably. But with the addition of E70B and the other Eutelsat satellites in the fleet, we now have a much more broad brush, and we can now start looking at video applications, which we're really excited about. It's a great satellite for DTH in Southeast Asia. We also carry a large number of Asian customers from this region into other parts of the world. I think we have more than 80 channels, including TVB, CCTV, Star Times from China, and a whole plethora of other channels. So we're pretty excited about this opportunity. Well, I think we have a great deal of experience in this because, don't forget, we started in Europe back in the 70s, and we had a number of different markets, all speaking different languages, all at different stages of development. So we kind of cut our teeth in that environment. We're also a very culturally sensitive and aware organization. Out of our 750 employees, we have 30 different nationalities. So we're familiar with operating in different cultures, different regulatory environments. We see that as a challenge that's an opportunity rather than a problem. Well, we don't see any slow-growing markets. We see fast-growing markets, and really, I refer you to the previous answer. Maritime is growing, government business is growing, both government, civil, and military, and resource mining. Satellites are perfectly placed for, for example, in Australia, remote mining sites throughout the country. So those markets continue to grow.
Well, it's tough to answer those key questions in a couple of minutes, so just to give a few hints about it. So about KSAT, we call this our satellite, using K technology over Europe. And when I say Europe, that's also a part of Middle East and north of Africa. And we are using a technology which is, I would say now, very popular in the US in terms of delivering broadband through satellite, because that's, I think, now 1.2 million users in the US. So I'm doing some kind of advertising for my colleagues over the US, but that's to say that as also in Europe, so as Eutelsat, we are now pretty happy with the customer experience that we provide. We are progressing quite well in terms of number of subscribers. So I should admit that our satellite is not full yet, but the growth rate is quite good. And as a personal user, so I say that of this technology in my home in a rural area in France, I'm more than a satisfied client, but you may say I'm a little bit biased. But it's true, my wife as well is very happy with the service in terms of broadband, access through satellite. She can do as well catch-up TV, over the top, so everything that you can dream of through a satellite connection. Now, what I say here is that thanks to this technology, we used to talk about being carrier grade, but when you really look at what it is, I think that we could say that we are Formula 1 grade in terms of delivering broadband internet through satellite. So that's in 2 words. So going quite well, and a very good customer experience, and better than ADSL that I have in the Paris area, for instance. In terms of 4K, that's the other part. Clearly, you understand that we are very much pushing 4K as an innovation, because we also feel that there will be a demand, I say, in terms of future, because there are, let's say, in terms of quality on big screens, so nothing will be equal to 4K in the future. So difficult to say if it's going to happen in 2016 or later. Clearly, the technology will see it ready by that time frame. but we need, of course, a number of available large screens and set-top boxes and so forth. But let's say we are pushing as much as we can, and we have already tested, done some trials by either dedicating a channel to transmit 4K on E10A, announcing with one of our clients, Digiturk, in April that we are also doing some experience together in 4K. We transmitted, for instance, with France Télévisions, the French Open last in June, and as I speak, we do also some transmission in 4K for the Paris Air Show. As a personal user, because you see I try to connect to some personal use, I was, there is a big event, I'm sure WTA members are all present there in Washington in March. Coming back to Paris, I was waiting at the lounge, and I just had a few minutes left to buy a 4K camera. I do some advertising for my colleagues from GoPro, but a 4K camera, $400, and that for only $20 more than a HD camera. So you see, I see 4K arriving, and maybe it could be sooner than what we think of at this time, because things are always going faster. Having said that, it's clear that we see the move into hybrid world, where clearly there are some benefits of fiber to the home. We don't compete with that. We are very complementary, and we see at the same time the place of the satellite as a really very significant place for many years to come, because there will be a mix of demand for both, I would say, connected experience, connected TV, together with higher quality. It's not going to be let's say, a choice between either one or the other. I think the demand will be for both.
I think that Eutelsat Asia will be a larger contributor to revenue, to the bottom line of the Eutelsat group. I think through the services that I just described. I also think that we'll be starting to make inroads into the broadcast business, which we've not hitherto done really in this part of the world. So we're very bullish about the future.